essentially, we got our start gardening at this property. We moved to this house and COVID happened, and we figured basically like, let's get some fresh air, get outside, garden. It's probably going to be good for our mental health. We got obsessed because our casual hobbies dominate our lives very quickly. And there's so much to it. Like we're people of depth. So we really, if something has a lot going on, it's hard for us to not fall head over heels in love with that thing.
Welcome back to the Griffin Family Farmcast. I'm Cassidy. This is Taylor. And today we're going to talk about how we're going to start our farm.
Easy.
Yeah. So that's what we're going to talk about today on this episode of the Griffin Family Farmcast. I thought it'd be fun to have a conversation about like what we think how we think we're gonna start the farm, so that we like a year from now we can look back and watch this and like either laugh at ourselves or be like, wow,
right,
we got it right, or whatever, both.
We're definitely gonna be like, those dummies, they didn't know anything.
Which is what we think about ourselves like
all the time.
5 years ago. So.
Yeah, 5 months ago.
That's true. Yeah. So that's why I thought it'd be fun to have this conversation. But just a reminder, on this show, we talk about natural farming, we talk about growing on our microfarm, and we talk about gardening. So welcome back to the Griffin Family Farmcast.
Plus a little, you get like the behind the scenes if you're listening to this podcast.
You get to know what's happening in our life.
Yeah, we make a lot of polished content.
Yes.
For YouTube. Yes. That's palatable to the masses. So many people. And
oh boy. Okay, I'll come back. I'll turn it on a little bit. Can you go in your room and shut the door? Daddy and I are filming. Where were we?
I was saying we create a lot of polished content that is palatable for a lot of people. But this is the inside look into our lives. Yeah. And it's amazing to me that people are listening to this. It's really cool.
We're really boring.
We're not the most interesting people to like. We're interesting on a deep level, not on a surface level.
No.
Like if you run into us at a party.
Yeah, we're the worst.
With this like slightly loud music playing, we're not your people. No. We're not going to start something.
Unless you want to find like a quiet corner and talk about the ins and outs of some random topic.
Yeah.
Which honestly, if we know nothing about it, but you're really passionate about it, we're there for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally. But we're not going to be the ones that pull out a board game and rally people to play or
start like big group games.
Yeah. We'll do it.
I won't.
Cassidy won't. I will. Yeah.
I'm an individual. I don't go with the group. Okay. Well, anyway, that's our podcast. Welcome back. And I wanted to do our sponsor for this episode. The sponsor for this episode is Seeds. No brand. These ones were saved from my mom's garden on 9/25. So September of this year.
Rudbeckia.
I think it's triloba is how you say it. Anyway, if you have seeds, you can start a garden wherever you are. All you need is seeds. I highly recommend, don't buy plants from the nursery or Home Depot. For heaven's sakes, don't buy plants from Home Depot. Get some seeds, learn how to start some seeds, and you could have an incredible garden for very little money. And I've done this so many years now. I save the seeds. We have incredible gardens year after year. And it's all because we start from seed and we can actually afford to have these incredible abundant gardens because, this cost me $0. So.
And if you start a plant from seed, as opposed to buying it from Lowe's or Home Depot or Fred Meyer or whatever, those plants aren't meant to, they're not meant to like be the super good producers. Like they'll start really big.
Well, and they want to, so if you buy a plant at Home Depot, they're basically at the end of their life cycle because they sell them flowering, which means they're done.
Oh, if you're buying flowers, totally. Yeah.
Oh,
but like tomatoes are like a really popular one that people buy because they're super easy. But like they're so big, and they're probably root bound, and they've been fed a bunch of synthetic fertilizer, or the potting mix is probably sketchy, But if you grow them from seed, start
Yep.
to finish of a
Yep.
healthy life cycle of the plant,
Mhm.
you can get
Yeah.
a good crop.
Yeah. So I highly recommend buying seeds this year.
Yeah.
Or getting seeds. Libraries often have.
Plan to save them.
Yeah, let's save them. Libraries often have seed libraries that you can get seeds for free if you don't have any money. So ask a friend if they have any extra seeds in their seed packets they're not going to use this year, or check out your local library.
Totally. Get on a Facebook community page in your area and just type in ISO, little hack, in search of, is what that stands for, colon seeds, plant seeds.
Veggie seeds.
Veggie
whatever
seeds.
You want.
Yeah. Flower seeds.
Yeah. The barrier to entry is very low, is my point. You need $0.
Well, you do need a potting mix.
Well, yeah.
To plant them into.
That's true.
Which costs money.
Which we make our own compost. So that's $0.
Yep. We're going to do some experiments with leaf mold.
Yeah.
For our cocoa coir replacement. But we probably will use cocoa coir still.
Yeah, so we buy cocoa coir and we buy vermiculite. But we buy giant bags of vermiculite. I think it's like $40 for a giant bag. Lasts us.
Huge bag, like 50 gallons.
It doesn't last us a whole seed starting season anymore, but for an average garden, it would totally would.
Multiple seasons, yeah.
Because we start thousands of seeds, so
we go
through like 3 a year, maybe 4 now. And then the other thing is cocoa coir, but you can also use sheep's wool. So if you're not starting that many seeds and you have a friend who has sheep, you could get that for free. So all you technically would have to buy is vermiculite, which I wonder if you could figure out a free replacement.
Been thinking about that. Yeah, I'm eager to look into some vermiculite replacements. Maybe you don't even need it. Probably do, but
yeah, I mean it
helps with
creates
drainage,
air pockets basically, so that it doesn't get super dense. Yeah. Anyway, that's our sponsor.
They got a good chunk. Our sponsor.
Yeah, they did, because I'm just really proud of these. This is like, from this garden out here, and it just, it's got quite a bit of chaff in there, but that's thousands of seeds.
Yeah. Let me see.
I feel very proud of that. Why do you
smell good?
Oh yeah, that is good smell. And these jars were free too, technically. They weren't.
They're upcycled.
Upcycled, yeah.
Or recycled, I don't know which.
We get supplements in these jars, and I save them. Anyway, here we are. I thought we could talk about the farm. Just a little update. We have our house back.
Yep. We will have already shared about it on this channel.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, but yeah.
Sure. We do not live there yet because it needs very thorough clean and removal of quite a bit of stuff left behind to be dumped in the Goodwill. So
there's glass on the ground
so
that we
much
gotta
broken glass. So it's not safe for kids to be there, and we don't want our kids to touch anything, and we're wearing gloves every time we touch anything there. And anyway, so we will be moving in soon, but it needs a good clean, and it needs a good clean out of all the stuff.
Yeah.
So 2 big projects.
Yep.
So hopefully this time next week, we'll have moved in at least some stuff. I don't know if we'll be there yet, but maybe some stuff.
Yeah. And 2 weeks from now, we will record our first podcast there, probably.
Yeah. It's true. We'll have a new setup.
The Griffin Family Farmcast coming to our new home.
At the Griffin Family Farm.
At the Griffin Family Farm.
Yeah. That's exciting. So speaking of the Griffin Family Farm, we are starting a farm.
Yes.
We are starting a farm adjacent to our content business, I guess. So we teach people how to farm naturally, or garden naturally.
Yep.
We're shifting over to microfarming ourselves, so our content is going to shift towards microfarming.
Yeah.
Still some gardening, but
a lot of gardening.
Yeah, but will be more microfarming. And so they'll play hand in hand with each other, but they're going to be 2 different things.
Right.
So the Griffin Family Farm is going to be a microflower farm, and as of right now, we're planning to sell wholesale. So we're gonna do like a bucket route to florists and try that out for our first season.
What's a bucket route?
A bucket route is basically where you bring all the flowers you've harvested, and you show up with the florist. The florist knows you're showing up. You've communicated. They're expecting you. Show up and they peruse your flowers and purchase from you. So it's a way to begin relationships with a florist that have lower stakes. So you're not selling ahead of time. So if you don't end up having that thing, you don't have to like reimburse them or whatever, or look like you can't keep your end of the bargain. Because, as your first season growing flowers, I mean, you don't want to promise anything until you really know what you're capable of. So a bucket route just enables you to show up with whatever you have that week, and then they can choose to buy from you or not, or they can choose how much they want to buy from you. So it's kind of like low stakes for everyone, and it gives you a chance to build relationships and a chance to start to build a business reputation and connections. And maybe the following year that bucket route turns into more like pre-orders because they know you, they trust you. I mean, it's good for the florist because they kind of, they need to know that you're going to be reliable and you're going to show up every week.
Yeah.
Because consistency is what they really need. Because, they can just send an email and order all their flowers from a wholesaler.
Mm-hmm.
So for them to order flowers from a local flower place, like a local flower farm, it's a choice that they're making to buy local. And so you just, you need to build up those relationships because it's, you want to make it as easy for them as possible because it is really easy for them to buy flowers from the wholesaler. So
yeah,
that's what we're thinking we're going to do. So that we're not necessarily going to make content about that.
Mm-hmm.
Our videos won't be about that.
The business side, right?
Yeah, or just like selling or growing the flowers. What our content is going to be about is how does KNF play into all of this?
Korean natural farming.
Yeah, because so many people have YouTube channels about selling flowers or growing flowers, but no one has a YouTube channel about using natural farming techniques to grow flowers in a farm context.
Yeah, except for
Bear Mountain
Farm. Yeah. So
which they're one of my first inspirations. I actually emailed him this summer about something else, and he emailed back. It was nice.
Yeah. There's people doing all sorts of incredible stuff. We're not like super special for doing this. We're special for other reasons.
I guess what I'm saying is like I don't think he does Jadam.
Right.
So there's no one on YouTube that I've watched that has a flower farm
that does the full KNF. Yeah. And we're hoping to showcase a lot of the specifics, the nitty-gritty, and documenting the whole journey, and which is what we'll talk about today. But
well, I have so many questions about like how is this actually sustainable or holistic for a flower farmer to keep up with all these inputs, and is it when you're trying to harvest and sell and in the peak of summer craziness, do you even care about these things? So, which I mean, KNF is kind of almost an off-season. I mean, you apply maintenance sprays throughout the summer, but prepping it all is kind of an off-season thing.
Some of it. Yeah. A lot of it is on, but.
Yeah. That's true.
But we'll get into it.
Yeah. So anyways, that's what's happening. So maybe we could just tell the story of this house and yard that we're speaking about just briefly. Because we already kind of shared about it on other episodes, but.
Yeah, totally. And I can share about it because we'll record a video tomorrow that's a more concise. Mm-hmm. Well, it's actually, I'll give the concise version. Mm-hmm. I'll give the bullet points here. Essentially, we got our start gardening at this property. We moved to this house and COVID happened, and we figured basically like, let's get some fresh air, get outside, garden. It's probably going to be good for our mental health. We got obsessed because our casual hobbies dominate our lives very quickly. And there's so much to it. Like we're people of depth. So we really if something has a lot going on, it's hard for us to not fall head over heels in love with that thing and go down all the rabbit holes. So that's what we did. And we kind of were on the cusp of starting a microfarm, and then we left for our work. And we've been gone for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
We've just barely hung on to the house through rental mishaps.
And our house almost like burning down.
And technically our house almost burned to the ground.
There's like the hillside across the freeway from us is just black because there was a fire.
Yeah.
That burned down a nearby town. Anyway.
Crazy. So we're still there, and we have persevered, and I think we're going to move in and actually make it, which feels surreal to say because it's been such a long time coming, but at the same time, it's only been 3 years.
It's like we were saying in the car on the way home today. It feels like we've never left, and it also feels like a different parallel universe that we live there, and like that's a different Cassidy and a different Taylor that live there, and you know, running parallel to our lives now, and we can kind of like see it and be like, wow, they live such a different life. Yeah. But really, that was our life. Yeah. And then it feels like we've always been there. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We never left.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how we got.
But we left with technically just barely 2 kids, and I'm coming back with 3. Yeah. But really, only 1 kid really lived there. Yeah. So from 1 to 3.
Right. Yeah. Our youngest is going to grow up there.
Yeah, he's not going to remember anything else.
Yeah.
Which is wild.
Yeah. And our 3-year-old, honestly, might have very limited memories of anything else.
Yeah,
probably will mostly remember
she'll probably remember this house because we'll come back to visit my parents. And then that house is my guess. Yeah. Yeah. But our oldest son he has an incredible memory. Yeah. So I bet he'll remember. Especially if he sees pictures. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But so here we are.
Yeah, here we are. Okay, so how are we going to go from so right now, the way it looks is just there's nothing. I mean, basically it's just dirt. Maybe soil. Most likely just dirt.
A lot of it is probably dirt.
Yeah.
At this point.
So how are we going to go from that to profitable farm in 6 months?
Yeah. Well, let's break this up.
Okay.
So we've got all of the planning about, what are we going to grow?
Yeah.
And where?
Yeah.
And so, and you've got a lot of that down already. You've got a bunch of ideas. And so once we have the where are we going to grow it on the property settled, then we can start making the beds. And we're going to do rows because they're the easiest to keep track of. And we're going to do what, like 50-foot beds?
Yeah, there's a couple places where we might do 100-foot beds, but pretty much everywhere will be 50.
Yep. Yeah. 50-foot. And are we doing 30-inch wide or are we doing 4 feet?
I think we decided on 4 feet.
Okay, so we're doing 48-inch.
We went back and forth.
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to do 48-inch bed, 12-inch pathways, 16-inch pathways, 18-inch.
I think 18-inch.
18-inch, okay. So plenty of room to get a wheelbarrow in there. We probably need to downgrade to our one
We'll
wheel.
have larger pathways interspersed.
Yep.
For traffic. We have like a traffic flow.
Yeah. And I mean, this is the most exciting thing to think about is just, how long and wide are garden beds and pathways.
You have no idea.
So we'll move on quickly. So
it is really exciting.
Once we kind of form them and settle them where they're going to be, the idea is that the pathways and the garden beds stay there forever. So they're permanent in-ground raised beds. They're slightly raised up.
Yeah, are we going to like dig out the pathways?
So I think we'll dig out the pathways and, dig it kind of on top of the garden bed, the beds to form them. And then we'll need to do a couple things. So we'll need to make compost, a fair amount of it. And we might buy in some, who knows. But I'm going to see how much manure we can source locally. We've got tons of leaves that we can mix with the manure and compost. We've got other good ingredients. And we can just make a nice high quality compost to be able to top dress our garden beds, which means 1 inch to 3 inches is kind of the top dressing range. 1 to 2 inches. Or I don't know how many centimeters. Sorry, metric people.
It's okay, move on.
Yeah. I'm going to say 2 to 5 centimeters, somewhere in that range. And so the compost is kind of just like the basic like market gardening thing, and it supplies soil biology with organic matter to be able to process, extract the water insoluble nutrients and process them into water soluble nutrients so that the plants that we plant there can get them and grow. So that's great. So if we do nothing else, that's what we want to do. But as we said already, we're KNF, Korean Natural Farming Gardeners. And Korean natural farming relies extensively on indigenous microorganisms. So one of the easiest things that we'll do probably right away is just start watering in Jadam microbial solution. I'm thinking we probably just need to start making it. That and liquid IMO we can make indoors. We just start making it. And, soil drenching with it. And soil drenching just means you're applying it to the soil, usually undiluted. But we'll just make large batches of it and try and water it in all winter. Or something into our garden beds. And so that's going to just infuse our soil with microorganisms that hopefully will improve the soil tilth. They'll help unlock and process the nutrients that our plants are going to need. They're going to help decompose the compost and turn that into soil. They're going to just be present in greater numbers when our plants actually get in the ground. And when the reason we want the microbes in the soil is because they perform all the activities, all the functions. They just help the plant do that. So those are the two main things probably. Is we need to make indigenous microorganisms. We've got all the IMO2 collections. I'll do another collection. I'll do a winter edition. I'm going to try and collect some leaf litter and put it in a tote and do a little indoor experiment. And so we'll have some winter. We'll have kind of, some all season stuff. And we'll just make a bunch of IMO4. And so that's going to be what we apply also to the garden, or water and so those are the big things.
So that's the soil.
That's the soil.
So that's basically what we're ensuring is that everything will grow. So then from there, it's, how do we become profitable? I think the next layer is what do we grow? And I think our strategy right now is annuals because they are seed packets primarily. So you have a very low investment to begin with.
For a high return.
So this season, we're going to primarily focus on annuals that sell really well. So we're going to just grow a lot of snapdragons because those sell. And we're going to grow lisianthus because that sells. And we're not going to do plugs. We're going to start from seed, which most people do not do. But I just can't. I love to start seeds. So I don't know why I would buy plugs. And so and another like annuals that sell really well. And then also we're going to start a lot of perennials from seed. Every perennial that is a cut flower that can start from seed, we're going to do that so that we have some things on the farm that we don't have to start every single year that kind of are a backbone. So that's how we're going to be profitable in the first season, is we're going to have a low investment.
Right.
So we're not going for woodies, we're not going for perennials, we're not buying plants. We're not getting bulbs or tubers. I bought some dahlia tubers, not so we could sell, but so I could start building my stock. Because I can't buy enough, at least this season, to sell from our dahlias. Anyway, so that's how on the growing side. So that's the things we're gonna grow are just annuals that we know sell. And that brings us to like the last layer, which is marketing.
Yeah.
So you could have amazing soil, you could have the best crops, but you have got to sell it somewhere.
True.
You have to have someone to sell it to. So we've thought about doing a CSA.
Some people say it's not about the money for me. For us, it's about the money.
It's about the money. We're trying to start a profitable farm. Like if this is going to be a hobby that sucks us dry, we're not going to do it.
Yeah.
We're just going to do something different because we can't afford. I mean, what's the phrase? It's like necessity. What is it?
Necessity is the mother of invention.
Yeah.
Is that the phrase you're looking for?
Yeah. Okay. Necessity is the mother of invention.
Invention is the child of necessity.
Yeah. Anyway.
Did you drink any water?
No, I didn't. Let me just. Anyways, necessity is mother of invention is the phrase. We are not.
I made up that phrase.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically.
Thanks for quoting me.
Basically, we have to work our butts off to make this work, which means it probably will because of high incentive, because this is going to be our income. It'll be a part of our income, a portion of it, a significant portion of it. So it's gotta work.
And now we just need to find a way to get there.
Yeah. So I think the marketing piece. So when we talk about the profitable farm, it's the marketing piece. It's the biggest question mark. Which is why we're thinking about doing the bucket route.
Right, as opposed to selling direct to consumer, which would be like a community-supported agriculture system, CSA, where you deliver a weekly bouquet and people pay a subscription fee.
Yep.
Or we could do a farmer's market, but we just don't really like the idea of standing in the hot summer sun several times a week for hours on end with 3 kids.
Yeah.
It's the kids thing. I think if we were young, I'm saying that as a joke because we're still pretty young, but if we were significantly younger and didn't have kids, we probably would do the farmer's market.
I could totally see doing the farmer's market once our kids are old enough to...
Once they would do it.
Yeah, like they say they want to do it as a business branch or something, like a branch of what we're doing, and they get some of the profit. They get paid. And it's like kind of their thing.
That'd be awesome.
Then I could totally see doing it. Just empowering them to be their own little entrepreneurs. But
we're years out from that. We're probably 10 plus years from our oldest.
Maybe. I mean,
he'll be 15.
See. He is very social. I just feel like you guys are so worried. I need to go start a business. My mom and dad. I need to talk to people. Totally see him doing that. But yeah, so I think for now we're trying to pick one avenue of selling so that we can be successful in that avenue.
Yeah.
Because if you spread yourself too thin, you can't really succeed. I mean, you might, but what are the odds? So we're going to focus on doing something really well. And that's the plan as of right now, mainly because we just don't have the time, I think, to generate a local email newsletter list in order to create something like a CSA. That just requires a lot of work and effort.
Yeah, I think we'll probably plant the seeds throughout this season and on social media. We'll make our presence known to the locals
Yeah, because once we have a bucket route, florist route set and we're doing well, we can add something more.
Yeah,
But
maybe we'll hire someone to do that.
Yeah, that has to be profitable first before we add something else. So that's kind of where we're at right now.
Yeah,
As far as like how we're gonna get there in 6 months. I mean, that's a lot of work.
totally. And while we're doing that, you mentioned the perennials that will start from seed, and we'll do those, and we'll make other investments in our property as far as kind of, I'm thinking about doing like quasi hedgerow pollinator patches, like raised beds that just are for beneficial plants.
Yeah.
That bring added biodiversity to the farm. Even on the micro scale, I think that's a good practice to have.
Yeah.
But then with our perennials too, those are a long-term investment where eventually we won't have to work so hard we won't have to start seeds anymore. They'll just produce for us. So you've talked at length to me about 9-bark, for instance.
Yeah.
And, you know.
Well, woodies starting.
Yeah.
Like
what's the difference
shrubs.
between woodies and perennials?
Well, so like a woody is a shrub. So it's like you're when you're cutting from it, you're cutting like
what's a shrub?
Branches.
What are some shrubs, for instance?
Like hydrangea. So it is a flower, but it's also a shrub. And then you have
flowering shrub. Yeah,
you have like any sort of like flowering branches from trees, but those are more like trees, not woodies. But like 9-bark, smoke bush, hydrangea, those types of things, snowberry, and then perennials can be like the yarrow or echinacea, that type of stuff. Those aren't like shrubs. They're
I see. Right.
I don't know the difference, like how you like categorize them.
Woodies are shrubs. Perennials.
Yeah.
Perennials can be woodies.
Oh, no. Yeah. So anyway, like there's certain like trees and shrubs that you have to grow, like you plant them and you have to wait a long time to actually reap the reward, but then you never plant them again. Yep. Or like peonies, like you have to you plant them and then you have to wait like 3 years. Like you don't harvest till your 3rd year. But then they can live for like 100 years. Isn't that crazy?
That's crazy.
They're like incredible.
Wow.
So yeah, you have to wait, but like 100 years. I mean, come on. Like
grandchildren will be harvesting from them.
Yeah, it's like so cool. Like it's so worth the wait. So you kind of will slowly stagger those in as we go on and get to a point where we are not having to start as many seeds / plant out as many things, so that our seasons, like maybe we have some breathing room. That's the theory anyways.
Yeah.
But knowing us, we'll just start something else if we have any extra time. So yeah, there you go. What are our roles going to be on the farm?
Well, I'm usually in charge of, as we've established in the past, pile making. Yes. Which would be our compost piles and our IMO piles, our leaf piles, our biochar stock, feedstock piles, so many different types of piles. That's my main job, honestly. Yeah. And then I make I plan most of our content for our YouTube channel. Yeah. And so I'll be thinking about creative ways to share what we're up to on the farm. And one thing we didn't mention that we'll also be doing green natural farming wise is we'll be doing some heavy experimentation with nutritive cycle theory. Yes. And the reason that I'm bringing this up is because I'm live streaming about it tomorrow. So it's just top of mind. But it's cool. I've not seen that many people talk about nutritive cycle theory when it comes to flower growth. And nutritive cycle theory is just the theory that plants need certain nutrients at certain times of their life cycle.
Yeah.
And so it'll be cool to see how, applying our fermented plant juice and fermented fish amino acids in the early stages of our plant's development kickstarts their growth, and then how water-soluble calcium phosphorus helps, lure them into
Yeah.
the budding
Mm-hmm.
and the flower formation
Mm-hmm.
stages, and
Mhm.
how all of that works.
Mm-hmm.
So we love our sprays. We both spray, but I sprayed all of our stuff I did our
Yeah.
foliar applications last season.
I also had a little tiny baby.
Right. Yeah. So maybe we'll get another backpack sprayer and do
Mhm.
that. We'll probably just get on a schedule and do once a week. Keep
Mhm.
it simple. I mean, I also maybe design a lot of our infrastructure
Mhm.
for the farm. I would love to set up a like fertigation system where we've got like some big rain barrels. I don't know how to do this at all yet, but the big rain barrels that connect to our irrigation so that we can brew liquid IMO and Jadon microbial solution straight there, and then just feed it in and get it mainline delivered to the
Mhm.
plants.
That would be really cool.
Yep. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I do.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the farm, so you're like more creative head over content, like for the
Right.
YouTube channel, that type of stuff. I think when it comes to the farm, I might play more of that role.
You're the manager for the farm.
I'll be the
for sure.
farm manager, I
Yep.
think. Yeah. So I'll plan what we're gonna grow, where we're gonna grow it, and then when I'll start seeds. I'll tell us when we're planting.
And I'm
then
hired labor.
And then harvest and delivery.
Yeah.
And then you'll be assisting all of those. / my person that feeds the plants. Or feeds the soil, I guess. So yeah, so it's gonna be like more of under my
purview.
Yeah. And so I think that works out really well though for us, because that's what I want to do, is be outside gardening.
Yeah.
/ now farming. And I think that you enjoy that too, but I think you also really enjoy the creative, strategic content.
I like thinking about how to package things and
yeah,
experiments that I can do, showcase. Totally. Yeah. And we work really well together when we've got clearly defined roles that don't really touch each other.
Yeah.
We don't overlap into each other's
But
things.
they're essential for each other's success.
Right. Totally.
So
we're heavily reliant on each other.
Yes.
But we don't do each other's projects.
No. But like if one of us feels like what we're doing, it's not actually valued or essential, that is a very low motivator. We don't want to do that. So I think like it has to be essential. Not one of us is more in a supporting role. Like we want to be essential roles. But we don't want to do the same thing as each other. And so we found the sweet spot, I think, with our content, where I edit, you write. You can't make videos if I don't edit. I can't edit videos if you don't write.
Yeah.
And so that works out really well. Yeah. So neither of us feels like less important, I think. So it'll be interesting to see how the farm plays out, because you would be playing more of a supportive role. So I'm curious how that will go.
I would imagine that once we get into it, there will be certain things that as manager you will just need to delegate, and you may or may not, but I'll take them off your plate.
Yeah.
I'm guessing, those things, it's so hard to guess, because we settle in very quickly
Yeah.
Like we sort of just face situations where one of us needs to do the thing and the other one doesn't want to do it, and that one, like usually one person kind of wants to do it a little bit more than the other.
Yeah.
And then that's just our role forever.
Yeah, like I probably will never make a compost pile.
Yeah, totally.
But you
would never collect indigenous microorganisms from the forest.
You say, I'll help you start seeds, and then you don't.
I started.
Okay, you did.
I started probably.
You did.
Probably 100 last season, which was a very small percentage.
100 out of like 1,000.
Yeah.
Yep.
10%.
Yep.
But yes.
Yeah.
But I supply you. I make your potting mix.
You do.
A lot of it.
See? I can't start seeds without potting mix. You have no purpose in making potting mix if I don't start seeds. There you go. Oh, that works. Okay. How are you hoping this farm is going to expand our knowledge and experience with KNF?
In so many ways. I mean, I think that Korean natural farming, it really scratches an itch for me of tinkering and experimenting, and I don't know, just like it's this invisible world that becomes visible for a moment whenever you're making a ferment. Or I mean, it could be as simple as seeing the curds separate from the whey when you make lactic acid bacteria, or as like mind-blowing as a pile of indigenous microorganisms 3 heating up all of a sudden and growing this like white fuzz overnight. It's just like, whoa, it's there.
Yeah.
And so as fun and exciting as that is, it's pretty easy to do on the home gardening scale. But I think that what's really in my heart is that we would make a start to go in the direction of making a difference for the big scale. And so many people home garden. It's not like that's too small of a project. It's been our whole channel. Huge purpose is just to empower home gardeners to explore these techniques. But I think it's really exciting also thinking about, okay, farming, this is such a small percentage of farming. Like farming is really about just like reading the crops and just doing the hard, brutal work and then selling it. It's like so much just that. Like if you can't sell your stuff, you can't farm. And if you can't work really hard and get more plants in the ground, as like a succession planting or whatever.
Yeah.
Or if you can't do the kind of like business side, then it won't work. And so Korean natural farming and all these techniques of soil building sit outside of that. But it would be cool to see, just to learn about how to actually make it realistic.
Yeah.
And yeah, is it possible to just like we've got all of our amendments made for next season. And so going into the season, being empowered, having those inputs on hand and the work that we do on our soil, it would be cool to see how it all shakes out. And if it does make things a lot easier to just start growing in the first season.
Yeah. And I think I have like so many questions. Like there's like so many things that people, the way they say it implies that they think it's a truth. And I have so many questions about it. Like different types of funguses that attack plants or disease, pests, like how we interact with these things. And we say, you have to use this conventional, really expensive, whatever.
Yeah.
And it begs the question of like, okay, well, if there was an apocalypse and you no longer could get these things.
Seriously.
How would you survive and grow? Not that you would grow flowers, but, if you can't buy these conventional things because they're no longer made.
Or if supply chain, gets cut.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
it's not exactly a
somehow
anti-fragile system right now.
you have to be able to do things without these crutches.
Yeah.
And, you know, if there was an apocalypse, you could find a fish and make fish meal. You know what I mean? Like you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
You could figure out how to survive with these different things. And so I have so many questions about these different fungal diseases that attack certain plants. And I'm like, you have to buy this very expensive root hormone thing to protect them. And it's like, but do you? Like,
yeah.
Are there other options or solutions? Or like, just I think the way people talk about fungi in general, in the gardening world, is they're very like afraid of it. And fungi is crazy and very powerful. And
True.
It's incredible. I read a book about it and I was like, this is wild. But I think that like,
what was the book called?
It's called The Secret World of Fungi, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think that's what it's called. But I just have a lot of questions about how does KNF interact with that world of like,
right. So for instance,
bringing balance to the biology.
One plant that you've talked about is Lisianthus.
Mm-hmm.
And do people bleach the?
They dip it in this like root shield.
Root
product.
Shield, that's right. Yeah.
That I think is like $200 a bag at least.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to use it in one season.
Yeah.
It like expires.
Right.
So you're investing like $200 in the single crop on top of the seeds and all the other things. So in my head, I'm like, that's just like not.
And it's because it's specifically susceptible to a
Fusarium, I think is what it's called.
Oh, Fusarium.
Fusarium.
Okay. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
Certainly.
so it just like basically the plant withers and becomes like brown and dried out.
Yeah.
But the thing is like there's so much about in the gardening world where it's like if you have this fungi in your soil, you're done. And I'm like,
right.
But are you though? Like there has to be other options. Like you can't just be done. Like you can't just be like throw in the towel.
This soil is useless. Yeah.
Yeah, or like what would you do if you were in an apocalypse and that's all the soil you had to grow in and you had to make it work and you had to survive? Like I think that's more of like I think we just give up really easily in our culture because we're such a luxury culture. And so I think that like putting yourself in the mindset of like you have to make this work and you have to survive.
Yeah.
Makes you a lot more inventive and curious. And it challenges like the status quo. Because you want to like make it work really badly. So I think that's what KNF is to me. Is it's this world of like challenging the status quo and challenging the truths that like people hold as like set in stone. So I think that's like what I'm looking forward to in the farm is like, can you just use LAB instead of bleach? Just one for one replacement. Like what would that be like? Or can you extend the life of flowers without using these chemicals that people use? I'm just really curious because I just know that those approaches are not sustainable because they're these human creations that are
lab engineered and unsustainably created
and they're harmful to the ecosystem. So I think that's what I'm super interested in, seeing how KNF challenges those things.
Yeah totally.
And I'm interested in like contextualizing KNF for our region. So it's like how do you make OHN with herbs you can grow in our region?
Right. Yep. And all the things. I mean, it'd be awesome to. That's probably another thing. I don't know. It's so hard to know. We'll get to this season, but growing our own grains to be able to catch IMO with, and we can make FPJ on site. Maybe I'll have to make friends with the fishermen nearby. There's a lot of fishing. I don't see that happening, to be honest, but I don't see catching my own fish and making fermented fish amino acids, but there's probably people who'd be willing to share their fish guts with me.
Yeah.
So it'd be really cool.
Mm-hmm.
Obi-Chen is the big one because he uses cinnamon bark.
Yeah.
And I think...
licorice. I don't know if we can grow licorice.
Yeah, there might be like some sort of licorice that we could try to use, but...
Let's go to our Q&A.
Great.
Okay, so I've got a question.
Q&A.
I've got a question from Massimo Paticio.
Yeah, Massimo.
Pasticcio. I live in old New England, small city, where 100 years of lead paint has contaminated the soil of mine and probably all the yards around me. The idea of having it removed and replaced would feel selfish and irresponsible. Aside from raised beds for any edible parts of the garden, how might you approach landscaping that also mitigates the contamination over time? Thank you for any thoughts.
Shootsy kabootsy.
Yeah.
So
the first thing I thought of was sunflowers.
Right. So there's plants that like sunflowers, and I don't know. You'd have to look into if sunflowers accumulate these, but there's plants that accumulate heavy metals in their roots and in their stalks and flowers, maybe, or something.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure. I know that
probably need to be careful.
Yeah.
But at a certain level, they get processed.
Do you remove the roots from the soil then?
I don't think so. I don't think that you...
It just takes them up and... What does it do with it?
Yeah, so I think... Oh, gosh, and I'm not exactly talking out of my butt here, but...
Okay, the only thing...
Hold on.
Okay.
Let me say. So, because I'm almost there. So, there's this thing called chelation, right, where you're extracting minerals from other minerals that they're bonded to, or chemicals
slowly
that they're bonded
over time
to. Yeah. And you're releasing them so that they become bioavailable.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what a lot of microorganisms' work is. So microbes do so much work in the soil to, just generally speaking, process nutrients. Yeah. They need to go somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And so something like lead in the soil is just brutal. So it might be that you need to pull up the roots. You would want to check for sure.
Yeah,
take out the stalks.
If lead gets into the air, that's the problem, right?
Oh,
is that what it is?
I think it's just if it's ingested.
If you breathe it, though.
I mean, probably if you breathe it too. But if you're like if you were to grow veggies,
oh sure,
in that soil and then eat that, you'd probably get lead poisoning.
Yeah.
And you probably don't want to be touching it either in large amounts. You don't want to be like digging your hands in there.
Yeah, because you absorb it.
Yeah. So look, there's probably plants that, and I'm blanking on the word. They absorb these heavy metals though.
Mm-hmm.
Sunflowers are one of them, but there's other plants that do it too. And they help process it. The other thing would be this would be an interesting experiment if you really had the gumption to try and see what IMO for applications look like. If you actually could repeatedly apply it over the course of a couple growing seasons.
Yeah.
And see if the microbes would help to process out the heavy metals, or help them to bond to other metals or something, or gradually water away. But I don't know, it's such a...
Yeah, because like where does lead come from?
I mean, it's a naturally occurring mineral or
is it
compound.
Just very deep in the soil and we've mined
I think it's just there's lead deposits.
Okay.
And then it's probably just in all soil at very, very, very small amounts.
Yeah.
Like infinitesimally small. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I would just research plants that take mitigate heavy metals, starting with sunflowers, and just see if there's some sort of like protocol. Because I have noticed like there was some shop in the town we lived where they would grow sunflowers over their soil.
It was like an industrial, clearly like some form of industrial waste site.
But they were constant, every season they'd grow sunflowers on this mound of dirt, and I think that's what they were doing.
Yeah, drawing the excess
heavy metals. Yeah. So that's something to think about. I'm actually very curious about that now. Okay. Literally found your channel today, and I'm loving the videos I've seen. But what no one seems to be posting is a diagnosis to remedy or season plus stage of plant life equals type of fertilizer. I like all these methods of producing lactic acid, compost, tea, microbes, whatever. But the question is, when is the time to use them based on what's happening with the plant soil season?
Yeah.
So this is the nutritive cycle, kind of.
Yeah, absolutely. So this podcast will drop long after my live stream tomorrow, but so you can check out that. I'm just going to give right up at the top, and then I'll answer questions, but I'll walk through the nutritive cycle theory. And I walk through it in various other long form videos that we have. I reference it. But yeah, so I mean, I'll just break it down here in case whatever their name was listens to this podcast. And we'll do future videos on this. But essentially, the question is, what inputs, like, okay, that's great that you've got all these inputs, but when do you apply them at what stage during a plant's growth cycle? And really, this is more complicated. It sounds more complicated than it really is. There's really just two main cycles. So there's 5 stages within a plant growth cycle. And then there's the kind of transition points in between those. But essentially, you've got the 9 core inputs for KNF, which is IMO, FPJ, and then also FFJ. I'll say the full names. Fermented plant juice, fermented fruit juice. That's number 2. Number 3, at least in my lineup, is lactic acid bacteria. And then you've got your water-soluble calcium phosphate and calcium acetate. You've got oriental herbal nutrient and vinegar, seawater. Did I miss any?
I lost track.
I think that's all of them.
Yeah.
And so it sounds like a lot. But, and fermented fish amino acids. Sounds like a lot. It's 9. So IMO, indigenous microorganisms, stage 4 or 5. You apply that usually just at the beginning and the end of your growing season.
Yeah.
And that's just a sprinkling. You do like I think it's like a 1/4 pound per 100 square feet or something. So just a top dressing on the soil, you mulch over the top, and that's done. Then you've got your fermented plant juice and your fermented fish amino acids. And these are nitrogen-rich, growth hormone stimulating compounds. And you apply those in what's called the vegetative growth stage. So early on, plants get in the ground, and you give them lots of, nitrogen cues, really. You're not supplying them with large amounts of nitrogen, but it's cueing them to access nitrogen from the air and in the soil. And it's helping the microbes deliver those nutrients. And a number of other good growth stimulants, and it's just telling them, grow up, get big, put on mass. Once you get into the flowering stages and you start transitioning, the plant needs different things. And so you've got, instead of your fermented fish amino acids and your fermented plant juice, you switch into providing it calcium phosphate and then eventually calcium acetate.
Mm-hmm.
And those are just calcium slightly, one of them is made from bones and one of them is made from eggshells.
Mm-hmm.
And these are just supplying the nutrients that a plant needs to form its flowers well and to cue it and make it feel safe, basically, to create its fruit, gives structure to the fruit, having the calcium. And so those are the two main phases. You can also use fermented fruit juice when you're getting the fruit. Then there's the constants. And so you always, if you've got them, you always apply oriental herbal nutrient, lactic acid bacteria, vinegar, and seawater if you have a good access to it, or you could do salt water. And of course, I say it every single time, but I'll just say it again. All of these are heavily, heavily diluted, 1 to 500, somewhere around there. You're never applying them undiluted. So you don't need to worry about like over. You really don't want to overdo it in your soil. You're just kind of stimulating and gradually feeding different plant things. And so, so it's really just those things. I mean, you've got the crossovers, the OHN, LAB, and vinegar. Just apply those every time. Early stages, fermented plant juice, fermented fish amino acids. Late stages, calcium acetate or calcium phosphate, and then calcium acetate. Yeah. If you aren't doing KNF, because they mentioned compost teas, you can apply compost tea once a week or once a month, every other week, all the time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with compost itself, you'd only really want to add compost at the beginning or the end of the season.
Beginning or end, or if you flip a bed.
Sure.
If you finish growing a crop, you terminate it.
Your market gardening.
And then you put down compost to re-nourish the soil. Yeah. Which we'll do.
It's great. What's something that you're learning this week?
Something related to gardening.
Doesn't have
in
to
general.
Be. It's almost 9 p.m. Don't think about this too hard.
I think I'm learning. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not like a brand new thing, but I am learning to mentally cope with people that aren't like me, don't have the same values, in the form of our renter who just was living in filth at the end of her life. The end of her life. The end of her life at our house.
The end of her time at our home.
Yeah, and so just the things that I'm cleaning up are, I won't get into the specifics, are just disturbing to me. There's not a standard of living that I'm comfortable with. And so at a certain level, there's like, it's just jarring to, come up with that in real life and have to imagine like someone was living in this.
Yeah, like I won't touch it with ungloved hands, and that was their home.
Yeah. And like one thing I'll share, this it won't be the grossest, but like one thing, for instance, is that the water was shut off for a number of weeks, and so they didn't have like their dishwasher running, and it was shut off because they didn't pay the water bill. We can't shut it off. They just didn't pay the water bill, so the city shut it off. And so they, instead of doing the dishes, from what I can tell, and I discovered this just in the basement, and they just started putting their dirty dishes into a set of drawers, a dresser in the basement. And so, I just, as I'm going through all of the crap, all the stuff, I'm just opening, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take these drawers out so I can get the dresser outside, and, we'll donate it or something. And and here, this drawer is just full of rotting food and dirty dishes that have been here for God knows how long. And someone was probably sleeping in that room.
Yeah.
So it's weird.
Yeah. That is weird.
And what I'm learning through that is, that was where this came from. What I'm learning through that experience is I think it's just it's not like an intellectual thing. It's more of a nervous system thing where I'm just like, just take a deep breath and acknowledge this was a person. This is a person.
You keep saying this was. They are alive.
They're out of our life.
Yeah.
For now. This is a person who has dignity, and I'm not comfortable with that, but with the way that they were living, but I'm just gonna keep going and just clean up their mess.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to sound really high and like I'm some sort of great person. It's literally just I'm
Well,
just
at
trying
a
to
certain
survive.
level, the nervous system thing where you have to decide to be okay. Because if you don't, you fall apart.
Yeah.
And we just can't afford that.
Right.
We have 3
Yes,
kids.
totally.
We're married. We have all this responsibility. You can't fall apart. You have to.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like,
and the job just needs to be done. Like,
Yeah,
I need to just get that stuff out of the house at some point.
Yeah.
Into the dumpster.
Yeah. Yeah. There's just yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I'd say what I'm learning this week, I think that it's just so apparent to me how limited I am in my ability to get things done. Because, like, for example, there's just like trash all over the yard. And I would just love to pick up a garbage bag and pick up all that trash and just be done with it. But I have a baby in the front pack.
Right.
And I have 2 kids in the car that I won't let come out of the car because there's broken glass. And so I'm trying to keep them in the car. And while you like do something. And so it's like the amount, what I'm capable of right now in my life is so tiny. And it's so jarring to have this experience where you can like see something that needs to be done and you just like
can't quite
you can't do it,
yeah,
because
in the moment
because just being a mom of little kids is,
yeah, we have to be highly intentional with how we spend our time right now.
Yeah.
Just at this stage of our life with the kids that we have and the ages that they are. Anything we do is deliberate.
Yeah. So I'm just like, it's just kind of like, I just want to get in there. And I'm just like, I want to get this done. But it's like, we really are limited to one of us at a time being able to do anything. And so just being patient and like accepting the season we're in and realizing they're not going to be this age forever. And someday they will be fine without me. And I could go pick up some garbage off the ground. It's like, there will be a day where that's not really a mental wrestling point. Right now it is, So,
yeah,
that's what I'm learning. What should people try in their garden this week?
Well, I think our video on leaf mold will have come out by the time this comes out.
Mm-hmm.
So do a little experiment
Mm-hmm.
with your leaf mold. I'm going to show kind of some different things that you can soak your leaves with to help them decompose faster and turn into crumbly soil. Leaf mold is an amazing tool to have on hand. And so if you can start a pile of leaves and help that to break down, I mean, get a double batch this year. That's one of my action points in the video, is like get a double batch of leaves so that you can decompose some and or use some in your composting and stuff, but then have some that just decompose more. And if you could just collect a bunch and get a bunch of that high quality crumbly stuff, that's just like gold for the garden. I mean, you can use it in your worm bins, in your compost pile, for your chickens, like as they're bedding, in IMO piles, for your potting mix, as a mulch. Yeah.
Cool.
Leaves. Pile them up, stockpile them,
Make
water
piles.
some down microbial solution into them.
Yeah. Cool. Well, it's 9:03. I'm ready to go to bed. This is great. Talked all about the farm, how we're going to start it. and it'll be exciting. It'll be fun to watch this a year from now and be like, whatever our reaction is going to be. So I'm looking forward to that. If you liked hanging out with us, just hit the subscribe button. We'll be back next week.